Coffee Club, Coffee Club. Grind your beans and grab your favorite mug. It's Ollie, Morgan, George, and Gus. It's them boys from Coffee Club. Boys from Coffee Club.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the Coffee Club podcast, episode 124. Coming off another big Millrose Games weekend. We have a lot to talk about. We also missed a couple of big news stories from that happened after our recording of last week's episode, such as the Mo Katir, the Black Cat situation. And this week is also the week of USAs. And there's actually some other big races that happen as well. So lots to talk about this week. Before we get into it, we do just want to pay our respects to Kelvin Kiptum and his coach, Gervais, I believe his name is. The news came out over the weekend of their passing, and it was just, I speak for all of us when I say it was just really shocking to see because he's so young. Like, I feel like as a fan of the sport, it's like barely got to know him, and he was already the marathon world record holder, which is just like so crazy. So everyone was just, I think, so excited to, see what his career would look like in the rest of his life, really, and to have that taken away just so tragically, so sad to see. So thoughts are with his family and probably all of Kenya. I imagine it's been hit very hard by that news. So yeah, I just wanted to pay our respects to him because it's just so sad to see something happen to someone like that who's in many ways similar to us, chasing his dreams of running, and he's younger than us, which is just crazy to see. So with that out of the way, we will get on to some more positive news, which is our Beans shout out. And the Beans shout out are so special for us because really it's just an amazing way to connect with fans. And every year Millrose is probably the best meet for us. B was really good as well, but Millrose is amazing in terms of connecting with the fans. And as a result, we have all these beans from these lovely people that came out to watch us and support us. So first off, thank you very much to everyone who was out there supporting us. We saw a lot of good merch out there. Saw some visors out there even, which are rare, limited edition. We'll get into it more later though. I don't know if you would have caught this, Ollie. The guy that was holding the tape, I think for the women's 2 mile, was doing it while wearing a Coffee Club t-shirt. Yeah. And I was like, I don't know what the story is behind that. We need to find out how that happens because that was just like so cool to see.
Would love to get to the bottom of that.
It just shocks me sometimes that we and it shouldn't, but it shocks me sometimes that we have fans because then you look around, particularly when you're just observing and see the Ollie Hall shirt or you see the Coffee Club shirts and the visors and you're just like, oh shit, like it actually exists. Mm-hmm. People are actually wearing it. Seeing it, like the situation holding the tape, it's like that's going to be unreal if they're crossing the line and it's like Coffee Club.
Yeah, I was like, it was just like so random.
We sponsored the 2 mile actually. We didn't release that publicly, but we sponsored the 2 mile.
Coffee Club 2 mile.
There's not much better advertising than having someone holding the finish line tape. Like normally, I think you would have to pay a lot of money for that.
Yeah, we didn't have to pay anything. It was great.
So thank you for that. Thank you very much. But we'll go through these beans maybe a little bit quicker than normal because we have about 5 or 6 of them. But first off, from I think it's Solly, who came up to me and had a nice chat after. He was inspired by my NCAA cross win. And that's
Which one?
That's what got him running the first time. So that was very sweet to hear. He gave us beans from Buni Coffee Roasters, which is in New York. And then we had a couple of beans from Onyx Roasters, which we've all enjoyed in the past. But these ones are special. They're from Will, who is he's a
steadfast.
He's a good fan. He's a good fan of ours. He's a great guy. He's university student, becoming a teacher. Just a great guy. In New York, and he was righting his wrongs from was it 1 year ago or 2 years ago? I'm not sure.
I think it was last year because we had it in your guys' new house.
Correct. And so he gave us last year he tried to do something a little more funky, a little out of the box, and he gave us, if you guys might remember, the infamous, was it whiskey barrel aged
coffee beans? Yeah,
coffee beans. Which
I remember we had the day we had them on the pod, we had a guest. And I can't remember. It might have been. It was like a girl on. Wasn't it someone on our team? I remember being
It could have been Alicia.
I feel like it might have been Alicia, and she took one sip and was like, "Oh, I don't know about these."
But the point is not to further roast him for that. The point is to commend him on coming back really strong, giving us these beautiful beans from Onyx. So
one of my favorite roasters.
Very excited to enjoy those. Thank you, Will.
from Arkansas, aren't they?
Yep.
Is that Onyx? But they're like
They're from Arkansas, but they're like everywhere now. They're massive. They're like
Yeah.
one of my favorite coffee roasters. They make really cool cups, merch, and amazing coffee. So he's done very well this time around, I believe.
Yeah, big fans. And George has a few as well.
I have a few, and one's not even a coffee bag. I got a coffee 10
Coffee 10.
from Amanda, Compass Coffee. I think it's Chicago. No,
I
no,
couldn't
the other one was
find the
Chicago.
label on it, but
No shit, I don't know what this one is. This one. Very cool bag from Dark Matter Coffee, Unicorn Blood. This bag is sick, actually. This is from Chicago, from a crew of people, actually. Robin, Meg, Lisa, and Laura. Oh, old lady fans. It says.
Respect.
fine.
That's our
Thank you very much.
that's our main
And
demo,
then
I think.
that's main demographic, yeah.
That's our target audience. And then the final bag, unfortunately, I can't remember who these came from, but they look very good. Richmond, Virginia. Blanchard's Coffee. These don't smell really good.
That's an
though.
ASMR freebie
Yeah.
right there from George Beamish. If you gave us that bag, comment in the YouTube or message so we can
Send a DM, yeah.
so we can definitely credit you and thank you so much for it.
They might have been the ones dropped down to me from the stands.
There was an epic picture of that happening.
Or that could have been the unicorn ones. I can't remember which bag.
Just
was
too many
which.
great fans out there. Too hard to keep track in that
Yeah.
post-race delirium.
But
But
thank you very much, everyone.
thank you very much. We are very excited to enjoy them all. And before we get into the other topics today, do have to take another little reflection, a little apology. Last week, I apologized for my mispronunciation of Wellesley.
Wellesley, yeah.
Wellesley, I believe it's pronounced. And I mean, look, I think it's really good that we can show you guys how little we know about running at times. We are professional runners, but we're also just normal human beings and pretty stupid and ignorant about certain facts. And we make mistakes, and that is why we are humans. You know, humans make mistakes. And so last week, whilst correcting my pronunciation, I mentioned that Wellesley was the turnaround point in the Boston Marathon. And I don't like, I mean, I think all of us kind of looked through the comments of the YouTube videos, and I looked through when there was only maybe between 5 to 10 comments, and half of them were all about why did Morgan say, they're just quoting me, why does he think there's a turnaround point in a point-to-point race?
So good.
I apologize.
Hey, you're just a guy, you know? You're just a guy. I'm just a guy, man. Like
if I had to think about it, I'd be like, yeah, that doesn't make sense actually. But
not to like, I am going to defend you here a little bit because like it is the halfway point, right? So technically, if it was a turnaround, and not point to point, that would be the turnaround.
But it is very famous,
Technically.
very famously a point-to-point race.
Yeah, it's a very famous halfway mark that we just
When
forgot
you
about.
run the Boston Marathon one day, all the people of Wellesley on your way through are just going to be like,
turn around.
No,
they're
gonna
sending
love
you
it.
back.
They're going to love it because we mention them so much and we give them so much praise. So apologies for that second mistake. Check back in next week for see what we are having to apologize for marathon related. The other small correction from last week is I believe that there was a New Zealand 2 mile record found. Is this true?
That was the other half of the comments that weren't bashing the Wellesley turnaround point, were people coming through with the research on the New Zealand 2. I had so many messages actually.
Really?
So a lot of
Oh,
people
man.
taking deep dive into the
This is why we love our fans. They know.
into the archives and found a number of 2 miles which were run.
So who had the record before you? What was it?
Well, see, I got sent a few, but then when like they list the results or like and they list the start list, they show the record. And on the Millrose like entries, it said Richard someone from 1974, and that was 8:22 with a little H hand timed.
Really?
Is this
And
indoor specific?
because that was indoor specific,
Yeah.
and then I think there was an 8:14
Outdoor.
outdoors.
it's pretty speedy.
Yeah, also from like 1974.
Checks
trying to
out.
think- I'm
It checks
trying to
out
think who
because
that
after
was.
that, like I don't think many people were running 2 miles to get it all
Yeah.
into the metrics.
So But now we know what it is.
Yeah,
That's the important
we
thing.
definitely know now what it is after this weekend.
So yeah, we can.
We got to the bottom of that, though.
We got to the bottom.
Thank
of it.
you for everyone.
Fantastic.
It did the research.
Yeah, we do appreciate it. So speaking of 2 mile running and Millrose in general, perhaps the biggest news of the meet from our perspective was a finding, and this has a really big impact on some of our personal plans for the Coffee Club podcast and our wider network of ideas, especially moving into television, reality TV shows. And before we talk on it more, I will just play a little video just that we got a submission from. It is Valentine's Day. We haven't even said that.
Oh yeah, happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day to everyone. And this was our Valentine's Day post.
Hey, hi, it's me.
Might sound familiar.
Happy Valentine's Day. I just wanted to check in. I haven't heard from you in a bit, but I know that you've been doing pretty well. I've been having weird thoughts lately. I feel like maybe you might have moved on by now. Like maybe I missed my chance. I know you're with someone now, but it's okay, because if there's something I've learned from you, it's that when something doesn't go my way, a race or a date, I can turn the page and keep moving forward. And I just wanted to wish you both the best and to a happy, healthy, and strong season. What was it you would always say? PR, standards, and big wins. Anyway, happy Valentine's Day. Love, Coffee Club.
Grant Fisher. So, yeah.
It's not good news.
The big news is that Grant Fisher is officially not single, and we are really proud to be the first news outlet to report that.
He's off the market.
He's probably trying to keep that private, actually. So
I mean, it's too late now. It's too late. It's just too late, Grant. We're sorry, but we had all these dreams and aspirations of setting up Grant's Girls. I've had talks with HBO. Gus has been trying to organize a deal with Hulu. We had a lot going and writing on this, and I think it's just the way things go. We're gonna have to
hundreds of submissions.
We're gonna have to look for another Grant. I don't know who's out there, but
it makes sense that he's not
another
single.
Grant.
Like that makes sense.
It does make sense. It's just I was excited. I mean,
we planned out a lot.
There was a poster there at the meet I saw, and it was fantastic, and I loved it. And
we might be doing him a favor, letting everyone know, because I feel
That's true.
people are going to be leaving him alone.
yeah, there'll be less people just waving at the track.
Yeah. Well, you guys saw Grant. Did you guys have a chat about it?
So this is what happened. We just happened to be pre-meet running at the same time as him, and I happened to be running with him just for a little bit. And I asked him. I said, "Hey, Grant." That's how I said it. Hey, Grant. So, because I would never presume that people are in the coffee club sphere, like as other pro athletes at least. I would never assume that they know what's going on with ours. So I was just being pretty cool, pretty casual. So we do this little segment about you on the show. I don't know, have you heard anything about it? And he's like, "Oh yeah, actually I have. Do you want to know who sent it to me?" And I was like, "Oh no, who would have sent that to you?" And I was trying to think of maybe Bauman people. I don't know. He's like, "Oh, my girlfriend." I was like, "Oh shit! Oh no!" So then I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, that's very unfortunate. That's very unfortunate."
So should we apologize to Grant's girlfriend?
We should apologize to
probably,
Grant's girlfriend.
probably.
But she's probably happy now that we've shared that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's exclusive.
No, we're sorry about that. We got excited, and we're very happy for you too.
I'm pretty sure she was like, "Who is this girl? Who's this girl sending in these?" Because she sent him the previous video from
The voice memo one.
The voice memo one. She's like, "Who is this lady?"
Yeah.
But don't worry, he's all yours.
I mean, I die on that hill. I think it's a great segment. So
Maybe we'll check in, but
we'll check in.
But yeah, no, it was it was good to kind of. Oh, it's sad to to close up that segment, but on Valentine's Day, I think love wins. So I'm happy that he's
symbolic way to end it.
Good relationship, and
the final Grants Girls episode was on Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
I think
that works out well, right?
For now.
For now. You never know. Yeah. But moving on to actual Millrose, I don't know how we want to go through this recap. Another trip to New York. Things were pretty standard. A nice pre-meet day. Taking the subway over to the Armory took us like an hour. I don't know why.
It was miserable for some reason.
Did it smell good?
Smell bad. New York smells bad.
Kater and Brett were joking about how much just worse the New York subway is than Tokyo. They were like joking about how disgusting the New York one was.
Yeah, well, it's great for the transportation part of it, but the other part of cleanliness, yeah, probably not. Probably
Tokyo
not up there.
subway is probably the most efficient.
Yeah, you could probably eat
cleanest.
dinner off the floor there.
Yeah.
Probably could. But we did make it eventually, and the track was lovely as always. Did our little jog and then just some pre-race threshold 200 strides, etc. I think everyone was feeling pretty good, pretty excited, pretty ready to go.
I feel like the main takeaway was that everyone was very happy to be off the Boston boards.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone said, all us, me and Morgan, Joe, Yared, definitely, Alicia, all said we preferred, just during pre-meet, the Armory track to the Boston track.
Yeah, I like the Armory track.
That's a hot take there.
Yeah. I don't
but
think
the Armory is. It feels incredible.
The thing with the Armory is though, how many meets does the Armory host that you can actually run quick in? Probably not that many compared to Boston. Like Boston, they have like so many meets, so the opportunity there is a lot more vast. But I feel like the Armory's always been a very high quality track. I don't think anybody's ever complained about it being slow.
Yeah, maybe it's just that Boston has a little more flexibility. Like I think a pro team can go to Boston and take control of the environment a little better. Whereas Millrose, New York, good luck.
Yeah, no, that's controlled by World Athletics.
I think they have so many meets there, and it's always so crazy there. So I don't think you can achieve that. But yeah, that was a big takeaway for me. Whereas like I had never raced on Boston before, and so in my mind it was like this just absolutely amazing, like nothing wrong with it place. And then it is really fast to run on, but then there is some drawbacks to that in terms of like it can feel a bit weird, and it definitely has a bigger impact on your body in some ways. And so by comparison, the Armory felt still really fast, but a lot smoother. Like it didn't feel like it maybe had those same impacts on your body. So yeah, we were all feeling good, just chilling,
vibing.
Cameras were all on Yared.
Yeah,
every camera. There's a lot of cameras on Yared.
Weren't people pushing you guys out of the way so they could get better shots of Yared?
Yeah,
that's what I heard from the team.
He was mic'd up. I didn't even know he was mic'd up until I saw the video come out a day later.
Apparently, Colin, our content creator, was pushing over Joe and Alicia, like getting people out of the way so they could get good vision of Yared. So I thought that was pretty funny, to be honest.
He's the star of the show.
Because like Yared's the guy that likes to hide in the shadows a little bit. Like in practice, like if you watch him, he just kind of just lingers around, jumps into the workout, and doesn't really make much of a fuss. But hearing on this one, him not being able to hide, I don't know. I think it'd be quite funny to see. So.
Which makes sense. I mean, it's not very often that you're attempting a big world record. So if you can make a cool video out of it.
Also, he's a 343 miler, you know?
Yeah.
How many of those are walking around these days?
He deserves everything. So yeah, it was cool. Very chill day. Did we do anything else that day?
I was just trying to think.
We all had Jason was out there, so like we all had Jason treatment at different times.
Where was the coffee spot? Where was the plug? Where'd you guys go?
Dude, near the hotel. Oh, actually, you did.
Morgan was on the table, so missed the taxi ride down. But no, not Mario. Joe and I and Jordan Donnelly went to Jordan's favorite coffee shop in New York, Le Cabra.
Ah, yeah, I've heard of it.
Wait, did we go last year? No, because
I
I also went last year with Jordan.
I got a bag of beans from Jordan from there.
Maybe I went with Mario and Jaime. Yeah. Maybe last year. I've gone 2 days.
It's amazing. I really want to go. But it's pretty far away, isn't it?
It's like 10 to 15 minute
That's not too
Uber
bad.
Taxi. Less on the way up for some reason. It's down in what is that neighborhood? Not downtown. Not Midtown, in between somewhere. Maybe like
down Midtown?
South of Times Square, that's all I know.
It might be like NoHo, I think.
NoHo? NoHo for NoHo?
Soho.
NoHo, Soho, YOLO.
If that's a neighborhood, I think it's there.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, somewhere around there. It's really freaking good.
Also, you had some coffee club / Discorders there out with you, which was so sick.
That's awesome.
Jordan
took them on a 16 or 17 mile run / workout. They did 12 miles at
He joined in because this
Yeah.
workout, I think we mentioned last week on the pod, was being set up for Saturday morning, a marathon workout. And I believe
We can confirm the workout went well.
Yeah.
As prescribed, I think. I think we said on the pod last
Go team.
week they were trying to run
5:55
for 12 miles.
Yeah.
And I think they went 550s or something.
Oh, awesome! That's awesome to hear.
And then they came for a coffee. The only thing is it's really small and it was freaking packed.
Really,
It was so
chock a
busy.
block. Yeah, I can imagine.
And
It's a good coffee shop. I imagine not many
and
people.
they pulled the classic, the dishwasher was broken. So
so
they-
you had to do takeaway
Yeah,
cups.
such
Oh,
bullshit.
fuck that shit! I hate that. That's the one thing about coffee shops that I'm starting to get annoyed with is that like when you go to a coffee shop, I feel like it's not like a privilege. It's a right to have a mug, like a nice mug. It's a right. You're paying $4 or $5, $6 maybe for a cup of coffee. You're paying for that experience. You're paying for that mug. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, you're not paying for the cup unless it's
you're paying
takeaway.
for
It's different.
one use of the mug, at
Yeah.
least.
One
Yeah.
use.
At
If
least.
it's takeaway, it's different. You're in a rush. You got a conference meeting. Fine.
Jordan, he
But-
literally said, I've heard that one before.
Yeah, Jordan's passionate about
There's
that
a
too.
slight culture
then-
difference as well because like takeaway cups don't exist. Like what are they called? Keep cups.
Keep cups, yeah.
Don't exist here in America either. Whereas in Australia, people would be throwing those around.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of people now just take in a cup and they do it themselves and they get a discount.
That is a thing a few places.
Yeah.
The someone noticed though the pastries and the sourdough came out on plates, so we're wondering
How's the math working here? Is
Where
the
were
dishwasher-
they? Where were they washing those?
Yeah.
That would have been pretty funny if they like really this like really nice sourdough just on like some shitty like paper plate.
What you should have
Yeah.
done is you should have taken the plate with you. It's like, oh, it's a takeaway plate. Obviously, you give me takeaway cups. I get
It
the
was
takeaway
beautiful plate. I
plate.
would
Should have just taken it.
quote by Kliger, best sourdough of his life.
Really? He's
Yeah.
made a lot of sourdough in his life
It was
currently.
really good
Damn, Klecker said that. Shit.
and very good pastries, and the coffee was still good. But I was upset. That it was
I
in
mean,
a takeaway
it ruins my experience too, George. Like, I want to get a nice mug. I want to be able to hold the mug. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like if I'm paying $6 for a coffee, I should be able to have that.
It's a good gripe.
Face. But the coffee experience seemed like it went well. I'm glad Jordan Donnelly, he loves that shit, so I'm glad he was there enjoying it.
Yeah.
That was pre-meet day.
Premier day, not much happening. And then race day, well, something big happened in the coffee club world. Unfortunately, not involving the two of us, was there was a meetup 9 a.m. I think in Central Park, and I think it looked really successful. Tom Wang was leading the charge with a few others, and it looks like everyone that went had a great time.
I think they ran to a coffee shop, didn't they?
I know they ended at a coffee shop, and they took it over. Apparently,
That's the way to do it.
and it looked awesome. Unfortunately, none of us could be there because our mornings were
It was quite stressful, actually.
stressful. They were hectic.
It's an early meet, which
It's so
people
early.
forget. Like, Millrose is not a night meet anymore. It's kind of in the afternoon.
Yeah, I miss the
mid-afternoon.
days where I didn't shake out because having like an earlier race and shaking out just makes like things
But
feel
it
really
prolongs
rushed.
the day, eh? Prolongs the...
Makes things feel
the
so
waiting and-
rushed. I just wanted to sleep in all morning, but I couldn't. I had to get up at 8 o'clock or something which doesn't sound that
But that's 6
early.
o'clock in
That's
Boulder.
6 o'clock in
yeah,
Boulder.
6 o'clock Boulder time to shake out, and then like we do get our breakfast and then shower, get ready, and then like normally after doing that we would have a good like 3 hours of nothing time where you nap and you just chill out.
I had 10 minutes.
Yeah, I tried to lie down on my bed. I was like, I closed my eyes for 2 seconds. Oh, time to get up. Time
I
to
got
start
back.
getting
I
ready.
got back from a coffee and a bagel, and I had like 10 minutes to pack all my shit and leave.
So that was good, but like it's annoying not having that time, but also it's kind of nice in a way because then you're not just like sitting there and you're stressed. And your
Sometimes those
nerves.
3 hours are the worst 3 hours of the
Yes.
whole weekend.
You just want them to get through them. So that was kind of nice. I mean, I was really nervous in the morning, which is kind of a nice pre-race feeling, but I was like pretty nervous. But then once I got on the bus and I started moving, I felt like just chill, just pretty normal. So that was all smooth. And then we get to the track, do our pre-race, Jason, etc. Go for a nice little warm up, and then things are really chill. In our race, was there 9 people or something? It was a small field,
Yeah.
which makes things feel really relaxed, and we know all of them very well, very intimately. We had, it was a pretty amazing field just in terms of the level of talent. We had Josh Kerr, Grant, Cole, 2 of us, plus Joe, Kaita, Kieran. Am I missing anyone? 2 really good pacemakers.
Yeah, that sounds like the field. Oh, and the Ethiopian steeple guy.
Oh, yeah. Can't remember his name, sorry. But funny thing was we got up to the, what's the area called? The call room area, whatever it is. And we got to watch just the end of the women's 2 mile, which was a pretty electric race. When we got there, Alicia was doing her thing.
Yeah, Alicia was at the front, throwing down with like 600 to go maybe. It was kind of good timing.
Yeah, cranking it down. And then it ended up being Laura Muir went around her and was pushing it, went through 3K really quick, got her world indoor standard. And then it was pretty confusing. I didn't realize that the Ethiopian, I believe her name was it Medina, had gotten DQ'd in the beginning. Did you guys end up seeing the video of what happened?
Yeah, I did. And
real bad.
This is
she ended up winning though.
This is my hot take with it. Like, I feel like if you're bringing someone that's a non-English speaking person to the US, you make sure, if you're the agent or the coach, you make sure that they know what they have to do so that doesn't happen, because I think it sucks that they probably traveled a long way away and then they have no idea what's going on once they've been DQ'd because they probably haven't run indoor races like
Would
that
have made
before.
some good money.
Yeah, and that sucks. That really does suck. But
I have to think they'd done a waterfall start in their life. They had just come from Boston. They were
not a waterfall start. It's a
different. They should just
or
cut.
a double waterfall.
yeah.
Like
She just cut too early, but maybe she was confused or wasn't paying attention. It could be on her as well. But
I think she raced Josette in Boston.
yeah. I
the
mean,
same girl.
It's
I
not.
believe, so. Or even New Balance. They've been on the East Coast.
They've been on the East Coast for a while. Okay.
At the end of the day, like, you should know how to do those types of starts at this point in your career. But yeah, I would say hopefully the agent it's so
I'm sure it's
crazy,
not her
so
fault entirely.
hectic in there. Like an official speaking English to you when it's not your first
Yeah,
language. Like,
I just think
difficult.
it's like, yeah. I mean, it just sucks because I don't think she's like deliberately done it. You know,
yeah,
I don't think it was a
of
deliberate
course
thing.
not. Of course not.
So it sucks because she's a talented athlete and walking away with a DQ is not fun after you've had a really good.
Do you
Get out.
think it actually mattered at all?
I didn't actually see how much distance she cut off.
Well, about 5 meters, because if you think about it,
Was it just one bend?
the exact distance that she cuts off is the difference between where the first people start and the second people start, because she just goes straight in.
I think
How many meters did she win by?
It's very close.
it was
Probably
close.
less than
But do you
that.
think that actually
I don't
matters in
know,
the first
yeah.
lap?
I don't think it does, to be honest. But the rules are the rules, you know.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course you're going to get DQ'd straight away for that. Like,
Yeah.
everyone watching would have just been like, oh, she just got
Well, I mean, I
DQ'd.
checked Twitter because I was like, what the hell? And then literally Membrane was all over it, just like, yep.
That's
It worked
a
out
DQ.
well for Laura Muir, who was like kicking for the 3K time and didn't really care about actually holding on to the finish,
Mhm.
but then still ended up getting the win.
She ran a crazy fast time. I can't remember what it was, but she got a national record. And also Alicia broke another American record. So she's got
Another
like,
one to the books.
I don't know, handful of them.
Yeah.
2 handfuls probably soon. But
Something like that.
it was some good racing. It was some good results down the field as well. And yeah, those women were just getting after it, running very fast. So that was cool to see. But then that was after that one, it was like, all right, let's get on the track. Let's do our thing now. And I tried to jump on the track and do a stride, and then we got yelled at. Well, I got yelled at straight away because there was a women's.
Women's 200 about to start.
300.
And they were 300. And they were using the outside lane. So Morgan was about to get flattened
This is what happened from
by
my
a girl out of the
perspective.
blocks.
This is from my perspective. They take us up to where you hop on the track, and I didn't know that there was a 300 about to happen. I couldn't see, I could see them if I had looked, but I didn't look. And I asked the man that was taking us, the marshal, or whatever their position is, man in a suit, can I go and do a stride? He's like, yeah, go ahead. And I hop on the track. I start doing my stride, and then straight away, these 2 men also in suits hop on the track. They look like they're, I'm not saying they're being overly dramatic, but they look like I'm about to get killed. Like they're like so frightened of what's about to happen.
Deer in headlights.
Yeah. And I mean, bad stuff happens at track meets. Like, people do get in the way and stuff. So I do understand it. But yeah, I got yelled at. I had to get off the track, wait for the 300 to come by, and then we did some strides. And then it was time for us to go. And everyone knew how the race was going to play out because everyone knew what the pacing was, and everyone knew that at least Josh Kerr was going for it, trying to run essentially 60 flats for 400s.
When Josh calls his shot, he, like in history, he's always delivered.
Mhm.
Or been close to it.
Mm-hmm. And the race got out pretty well. Actually, the first couple of 400-meter splits were a bit slower. I think then,
I think the slowest 400 of Josh and Grant's race for sure.
yeah, it was a bit slower than what they requested, but it was just a nice smooth line, 2 paces. Grant in front of Josh, which I think was really nice in the end for Josh Kerr to have Grant taking the pace after the paces stepped off, and then your boy Morgan slotted in right behind them. I was like, my mentality going into this one was, I mean, I guess it didn't really matter where you were exactly because everyone was going to be running quick and like you would be able to move around if you could continue to run that pace because everyone was like slowing down at certain points in the race really. But I was like, after having a bad start at BU, I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to get on it and see how long I can hold on for. And that's essentially what I did. It was pretty painful. I mean, it wasn't that painful, but it was like, it's just not a nice feeling being like, yeah, this is like too fast for me. And then you start slowing down a bit. Luckily, well, first Cole went around me and then luckily had George come around me and that like woke me up a little bit, tried to stick on him for a little bit. And then George made a big move on the third last lap, 600 to go, pulled away. And then I was just grinding for home. And for me, it was like, I finished in 8:12, I think, 5th place. It was pretty okay. It's good performance, like considering everything. I'm still just like similar to a couple weeks ago. I feel like I'm just working my way back. It's like this race again just cemented really that it's like after you've been injured for as long as I have in these events, you don't just like bounce back like to the top. It's really you have to start again in some ways at the bottom of that mountain and work your way up, and that's the process that I'm going through now. So
what was the one thing that you
summary.
felt you did really well compared to Boston?
Got out well.
Got out well?
Yeah. I'm just like, the thing is, in Boston, I leave that race and I'm like if I had started better, maybe I would have gone under 13:05. In this race, there's no question, you know? It's like I got out well and I gave it my best. And that's like my result, I think, reflected just where I'm at. And it's like you can't not be happy about that at the end of the day.
Walked away with a bit of a better fix on it, yeah.
So I was happy with that. George was freaking flying at the end there. Apparently miscounting laps, which has been happening a little bit in the track world recently. But my takeaway is that you should do that more often because it seemed to work really well.
Yeah.
I've been saying that for a long time, that I should always just pretend that there's one lap left when there's actually two. And then I finally did it by accident. But Merba very helpfully pointed out afterwards that they actually count the laps for you, which...
They do that.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
And then, like, especially at the Armory, because maybe they have the board, but there is a guy that's holding up literally, like, on his hand. He has, like, 2 laps left. And he yells it at you.
He does.
2 laps left. So you don't have to do that.
I don't know what I was thinking. I definitely had I remember looking at the last lap counter I looked at was 10 to go. And then I was like, I need to stop looking. Like, that still feels like a lot of laps. And because we had gone out slow, so the 800 seemed quite slow, and I was like, all right, I just need to not care about the time.
What time did you see at 800?
Like 2:03, maybe?
Oh, yeah, okay.
If not close to 2:04.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, either we're going to keep running this or someone's going to have to pick it up. But I was just like, all right, I'm just going to ignore that and look at whoever's in front of me. And then the next one I saw was 1 when I thought there was 0.
Really?
So
you were you really like actually kicking all out when you hit 200 to go? Because if so, that's a really impressive recovery.
I was almost, yeah, because I was lucky enough that I hadn't stuck on Cole. Like I kind of have I had a similar race to Morg. I was behind, kind of went Morgan, and then I think his name's Samuel Furu or something, steeplechaser, who he got second at pre actually. Like he's an 8:10 guy. He's really good. And then Hocker, and then me, and kind of just let a few gaps open up and kind of win. Like, man, I would have loved to find out if I could have run 60s for a bit longer. But kind of when Grant and Josh pulled away and I'm 4 guys back, like the gap just looks so far.
It was very far.
Like from me to the back of Josh, like if I was going to cover that,
at certain points,
it's so intimidating.
Yeah.
And that's just a hard spot to be in. And I just didn't have like the balls to try and make up 20 meters.
I feel like Cole was really trying.
Yeah. And then Cole kind of got stuck in no man's land. Mm-hmm. Maybe did he go with them?
No.
He kind of just started
I'll take responsibility. I let a gap open up, and then I think
he went round and kind of started running his own race.
He didn't like go around me straight away. You know how if someone's feeling good and they see the gap, they'll like respond immediately. He didn't respond immediately to because
and if you miss that
up,
if you miss that that move. Like it's so tough to get back on. And it was really like right at a mile they went through in 4:03, and then Grant ran 2:59s back to back with a mile to go.
Tough to catch up to that.
Which is just freaking impressive. But I had kind of Cole in my sights for a little while, like a few laps there when he was a bit ahead of me. And then I start just like thinking I could catch him. And with 300 to go, I split like 13-0.
Yeah,
I was like running 50.
Fast.
I was running 52 second pace.
You were running fast.
and then right before I get up on Cole's shoulder, like this is Cole Hocker. Why is he running so slow? He must be really tired. And then I look up and I don't see Grant or Josh, like, I don't know, celebrating, kissing babies, grabbing flowers. And I was like, oh shit. Oh no. And then I like look a bit to the left and the guy is ringing the bell and holding up the one. And I was like, oh man, this is going to get so hard. And by then I was in front of Cole, but I was like in such shock by then that I slowed down quite a lot. I went 13-0 and then like 14-5 or something. So I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna finish. Like maybe I should just stop, just take the 3K split and call it good. And then so Cole comes back around me with like 150 to go, and then I was like, no, fuck it, I'll try again. And then I tried to get back on Cole and got level with him in the last 100. I managed to still have, I think, the fastest last 100 split in the race. Which just tells me I should run races a lot differently, but couldn't quite get him. So he got payback from a couple of years ago, and yeah, a very quite a painful way to run the last 2 laps, but also quite fun. Just kicking ridiculously hard and way too early, and then slowing down and trying to go again. It's probably like good training stimulus. My legs hurt so bad that night. Probably like
I believe that
the most they'd been hurting after a race. They were just like aching.
Mm-hmm. Well, 8:05, which was your time, right?
8:05.
That's like a pretty crazy 2-mile time, no matter how you run it. So I think that's gonna put some sting in the legs and just a really impressive performance. So
thanks, Mong.
Good job.
Yeah. No, I was definitely. I mean, shit. That was just one. You don't get many chances at the world champ, and you know, everyone wants to beat him, and that would have been amazing. But when he's running a world record, it's I think with Josh, can't argue with that.
I think with Josh Kerr,
it's very impressive.
We talked about it today, and when he calls something out, when he says he's going to do something, he's usually pretty confident in his ability to achieve it. Like he's either been training well for it or
but that's the thing,
he's prepared for it. Because like if you look at particularly in Josh's career, like when he races, he'll like tell people honestly like, oh, I'm not ready for this race. I'm not ready to like be at my best in this situation. Like he said that in Oslo, when he ran 3:30, he's like, that's my best opening that I've had in the Diamond League, and I was 10th. Like I'm still got a lot of work to do, and he did, and then won Worlds. So, you know, when he makes a call like that, you'll know Josh is well equipped for it. And then when you have Grant Fisher, who's run insane times for the 5K and even the 3K at
7:25 last year.
Yeah, like
his last
you know
race,
that
he ran
guy can run a good
7:25.
2-mile. Like, so you're competing against some of the best the best athletes in the world. When you have that kind of comp, it's always fun to stick your nose in it, you know?
Yeah, and there's not much. Yeah, when you're racing against guys that are that good and they're going for it, you just
jump in.
You got to go for it and
jump in.
Try your best and do what you can. And there's no jogging around. It's just like a real test, and that's what it was. And watching back the video, I don't know if you were watching it live or anything, Ollie. It was very impressive. I really got to commend both Grant and Josh so highly in their performances, because one, like for Grant, and he's done this a lot of times when he's on, but his ability to run quick from the front was just like so impressive to see. But then watching, because Josh took the lead in the last 400, and then he like won quite convincingly, and watching him pull away in that last 400 was very impressive. Just how like composed and strong he looked. So that was when I went back and watched it, I was like, holy shit, this guy's very good right now. And then
I think that's almost what I kind of a couple of takeaways afterwards was like how impressive those two guys are, and yeah, like their last race is 7:25 and world champ, and I feel like that's where I get caught out. I think like in the Miller race, thinking, you know, maybe this does feel hard because those guys are world champ. Like maybe I should be like getting dropped.
Yeah.
Like I think that's like such an easy mistake to make, and like you gotta. I mean, what I want to like work on is. And kind of bridge that gap is almost like the mental side of it, thinking that, you know, that I do belong there, or like I do have the fitness to.
You can never forget that it feels really hard for them as well.
Yeah, it hurts.
That's
it's
what I was like.
hurting for them.
The fact that
Kerr was talking about it in the post-race interview, how much it hurt. So like
that's also what made me think
it
of it.
just
I was
shows you
like,
the tolerance of pain they can go through. Like it's sometimes talent's there, but if you can tolerate that pain,
yeah,
for the
like
longest
Grant ran
possible.
hard enough that his fastest lap was like 1,200 meters out, and he
Yeah.
never got faster. That's how hard
it's
he's
really
running.
impressive to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And I, you know, meanwhile, maybe I
Squeezing
think
it
it's
out.
hard, but I also
It's part of the journey, part of the learning
Yeah.
experience.
I'd
Like
just
being-
love to find out if I could,
Yeah. Well,
if
having
I
those,
could run with them.
having those opportunities to run against those kind of guys and hopefully continue to do it consistently, you'll start to learn that
Yeah.
everyone's hurting, everyone's going through it, but you start to learn about yourself and your body and how you're going to react to those races, and that's how you become better and how you win. Like Josh Kerr didn't become world champion from being able to perfect that in 1 year. Like he's been pro for multiple years and he's gone through ups and downs throughout his career. Whiteman's the same, and even Grant's the same. So if you look at the trajectory of a lot of people, like I'd say Jakob's a bit unusual in some ways of how consistent he is, but he's also gone through a lot of adversity too. And it's pretty cool to see that journey, because I think for you, George, and Morgan getting back into it, you guys are starting to get exposed to that, and the more exposure you're going to have, the crazier your
That's all you can really do,
expectations
yeah.
should be. Yeah,
Just put yourself in and keep going for it and keep trying to have those takeaways. The
definitely.
one I'm not trying to make this worse in terms of glorifying these other athletes too much, but after seeing that performance, it is absolutely mind blowing that Jakob ran 7 seconds faster or 6 seconds faster. Than
You know
that.
what's mind blowing about that
Like,
too?
that's
He ran most
mind-blowing.
of that solo in the wind, and he
Yeah.
ran like a ridiculous 3K split. It just shows you how good he is at doing that type of race.
Yeah, which
Like,
I would say that's his forte.
that's his forte. That's what
Mhm.
he's the best at. I'm not taking anything away from Josh. I think what Josh did was incredible. Grant did incredible. George, incredible. Morgan, incredible. But
He's
I-
just- yeah.
I have to be honest, like when I think about the 2 mile and I think about what Jakob did outdoors and that world record, that was something that's scary.
Did you guys see? No, I. It's not in our notes, but there was our weekly translation of a Jakob.
Yes.
of Jakob saying some nice inflammatory things in Norwegian, which then get translated, and we have to question whether he actually means what he said or
Yeah.
not. But I think
You can't
did.
tell.
What was it this week?
You need to learn Norwegian.
Oh, he said that. I think he was saying that he doesn't need to run from the front. Like he knows it's like a little bit stupid to always try and run from the front and win like that, but he wants to do it because he really wants to challenge himself.
He said he's running against himself, really, not anybody else.
Which I think you can only say that if you had, like, he won the Olympics, so it's like, yes, you won the Olympics, but I think you have to win like a couple of championship races in
So
a
this is the
row to
thing.
be able to say
Morgan,
that.
how did he win the Olympics?
Yeah, he didn't run it from the front.
No. He was behind Chariot.
Yeah.
I was in that race and I remember.
But even I would like to see him, like, he did it one time. I'm not saying he has to lead, but yeah, because I don't even know if he doesn't try to run from the front, if he wins that race. Like,
I think
I think running from the front is the best way for
Yeah.
him to try and win
I-
often.
I think Jingy is in denial of how good of a 5K runner he is compared to the 15, because he does I think he's defending himself for this event. Where if you look at his 5K, he's won 2 world championships.
Well, it is
back to
funny
back.
that he wins the 5K as
Yeah.
like an afterthought.
As an
almost.
afterthought, like he is so good at the 5K, and but he's always defending his 1500. You can see where his love is. Like his love is the 1500, which makes, like, for me, it makes sense as a 1500 meter runner, like how amazing that event is and how incredible the athletes are in it, and like winning that event is such a huge thing. But you can tell it bugs him because the 5K for him, he's back-to-back world champ against really, really good runners. But he doesn't even think about it. He doesn't even say anything about it. It's all about the 15, or if I wanted to be a social media influencer, I could have 4 million followers.
Said 10.
I don't. And then he also said something about he doesn't run for the money. Like if you run for the money, you're stupid.
Did he say that?
He did say that. And the funny thing about that for Jakob is like, mate, we're not all millionaires. We don't all have reality TV shows. Like,
Bro's got a
having money
Ferrari.
helps. Yeah, the bro has a lot of money. Having money helps. It does help.
Isn't that crazy that
Can't lie about that.
in
It does
Norway
help.
everyone's tax returns are public?
Are
you
they?
You can
Yeah,
just see
you
how
can
much.
find how much Jakob made about $1 million last year.
You can just see what Jingy makes.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
But do you think that if you're like going through the old tax evasion stuff,
We don't know.
You can get
We
away
don't
with
know.
it. It's like secret.
Yeah.
I would have thought that
You
Jakob
think
would
that's
have
what he's
made.
doing in Emirates?
Yeah.
Well,
That's what he's doing in
I
Switzerland.
would have thought that he would have made more than $1 million.
Some of it might have been something else. It could be somewhere else. Maybe he's got stuff in stocks or stuff. You know, you don't know
He's
where his
hiding
money
it.
is. But
I mean, $1 million is a lot of money.
he's
to
earned $1
make,
million.
but
Like it's.
I wouldn't be surprised if he was making more than that, though.
Yeah, I thought he'd be making more. And when he said that, it's like I get it. If you're at a certain limit of income, I think as a professional athlete, when you cannot worry about money and just focus on that, then that's when money doesn't really matter. You go out and race and try and achieve your best. But him saying that,
It's not true for everyone.
it's
yeah.
not true. Like there's people out there, particularly in countries that are not as nice with money and the financial aid and stuff like that than others. Like he comes from Norway. There's people that come from Ethiopia and Kenya that run, and literally if they win this race, that could feed their family. They could start a farm. Like there's a different perspective there that I think he has forgotten about a little bit, and maybe got a bit too developed about maybe Josh Kerr's modeling career and how much money he's making off that. So he's a bit jealous, I think. But you love the banter. It is very good for the sport, the two of them.
Love to see
this back and
Jingy
forth.
Love to see Jingy at Millrose one day.
I could see it.
I think Ray has tried to invite him every year.
I think it's possible if he
And I
runs
think he
in-
just says no because I think Philip went
he did
one
go
year that I ran the
got
mile
the bag.
Mm,
and he ran shocking.
he did.
Yeah, a terrible race. And I think after that, they're like, nah.
I don't know if that's related because Philip was kind of just having a couple of rough years.
Yeah, he was having a rough year. But I could see Jakob going in and, I mean, maybe if Jakob saw Josh do that, maybe he would just wait till next year and then.
He runs that Livan meet,
Yeah, I guess it's
which
probably
is
just
literally the
traveling.
same day.
It's probably just traveling because
It
he's,
is a
he's
long
generally he's training in Spain this
Mm.
time of year, so he probably doesn't want to come over. So
Yeah.
it's easy to race in Europe. Couple things. One, you guys shouldn't have told me that you can see everyone in Norway's tax returns because definitely looking up Gertz after this. Really want to see what's happened in that guy's life and just everyone that I know from Norway. And then two, you brought up Kerr's modeling career. Have we talked about his Instagram on this show?
I thought we had.
Can we just
remember if it came
Can we
up.
just put a question out to all our fans that are listening right now? What do you guys think about what's happening over on Josh
So
Kerr's
we know-
social media with
okay.
his Instagram?
Let me dive into Josh Carrot.
We're trying out new nicknames.
We're
for him as well.
trying as much as possible with him right now because he's going to be coming up a lot, I think, in the next few weeks. So Josh, we know Josh has a personal chef, which is amazing because he's been focused on his diet and it's obviously working for him. But I think he has a social media person too. He doesn't run his Instagram anymore. And the past few posts he has posted, can't believe I just said that, have been very interesting thirst traps, I believe. One was in a cold tub where he looked like he was modeling for a Hugo Boss commercial. The other one is just like dress fits. Like he was wearing these fits that
Nice
were like,
black. He was wearing like a nice black suit or something.
yeah, he looked like he was in the John Wick universe. I don't know. Like
Is that his black on black post?
that was his black on black
That was
post.
like race week post, I think.
Yeah, and then but then the thing that for me for Josh and knowing Josh, that I know that it's not him posting it is the hashtags because it's hashtag Josh Kerr, hashtag
probably
all
not
this,
the
hashtag
hashtag.
running, hashtag whatever, hashtag Brooks. Like I know Josh doesn't do that shit.
Yeah.
I know he doesn't do that shit. So somebody's on his Instagram posting this stuff.
It's just funny to see because we do know like I love Josh so much. He's such a nice guy and
Yeah.
he's very down to earth. And then these pictures are just like not down to earth at all.
It's not at
So it's
all.
like clear he's got some publicists who's
Yeah.
like just like looked at like Cristiano Ronaldo's Instagram. It's like
Yeah.
we got to do more of this. We got to
Yeah.
do more of this. And I just would like to hear what the fans think because I would like I don't know who he's hired to do it, but I'm almost like, bro, you should just hire like some like meme creator to do it, like some like high schooler or college kid, and just go that route rather than because he's going the professional, very like brand
Celebrity,
brand
kind of,
safe, like-
yeah,
like which is probably from a business standpoint smart. But
very
I'm like,
smart.
bro, just
Yeah.
get some more memes on there.
That makes me question who's the best looking 1500 meter runner on the circuit right now.
Those
Is it
posts?
Josh Kerr?
That's a
Is it
good
Josh
question.
Kerr because of the modeling stuff? Because I mean, I'd like the fans to know. I mean, what if you guys saw Mario and Yara doing that? You know, with that excite the fans.
Mario's been known to post
Actually,
a thirst
good
trap or
point.
two.
I think Mario likes a good thirst trap. And Jakob, maybe you could get into Josh's head and do some modeling stuff, because I think Jakob's Instagram is much more like organic, I would say.
Yeah, Jakob's Instagram is very. Like, I can't remember.
He does post like brand stuff.
I don't think he
sometimes.
posts like super consistently throughout the year. Like, he posts more at certain times, but his Instagram is nice. Like, he doesn't try to do too much with it.
No.
Maybe some more memes on there also would be good, but he just like posts like training updates, which is like
it's just
actually
training
interesting to see
or
from
him with
him.
his wife or anything like that. So.
or if like if he's like got like a kid coming or something.
Yeah, some
like
weird
that.
thing like that. Yeah.
It's big news apparently.
Wholesome.
What about you,
Pretty,
George?
pretty wholesome content.
George,
Yeah.
did you get in the modeling Instagram stuff? Because you don't post much on Instagram. Maybe we should get someone to hire. Maybe Coffee Club intern. If anybody wants to hire for George
Wants to
Beamer's-
work as a publicist.
Yeah, work for George's Instagram. We'll just get some photos of maybe George is shaving some sheep or doing something and bare chested with oil. I don't know. We could post that and see if it challenges Josh's.
If we had the
notion.
means just to recreate all of Josh Kerr's Instagrams, would be
but
the way
with,
to go.
with George, yeah.
That'd be the way to go.
Oh God, now I'm really wanting this idea to go through.
Because then you get the best of both worlds, where you get the modeling shots, but it's also a joke.
Mm.
Best of both worlds.
Best of both worlds. Like, he looks good, but it's also funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, that's
Get on board
be
with
interesting
that.
to see what the fans think.
Yeah, that's just because we talk. That's something that like just quietly, just for people listening, like that's something that we might talk
Yeah, we
about
gotta
between
whisper.
us.
We'll
Like
whisper.
we wouldn't publicly talk about it that much, but like whenever Josh Kerr posts,
We were just interested. We were interested.
We'll
It-
question.
It definitely grabbed our attention.
Yeah. So that's the 2 mile.
I got one more note on the 2 mile, which is I don't know if the right person is going to be listening to the podcast to where this will reach the right ears, but feedback from people watching, plus also seeing the replay back. Me and Cole had a pretty sweet duel down the finish line with the big lean by Cole. But NBC is just filming Josh Kerr's back,
Really?
walking away,
Yeah.
There was a lot of complaints about the
I didn't get to see
filming.
that.
There was a lot of complaints about the filming.
along with, like, no one gets to see Cole finish,
Actually,
George
I did
finish,
get to see it. I was like
Morgan
50 meters
finish.
away.
Keita finish. Similarly, in the mile, which we'll get to, obviously, Yard crosses the line, big dub, and you maybe get Hobbs and George, and then you get Yard shaking hands with the pacemaker, which it's not interesting.
You need a split screen there because you want to see both
Like,
those things.
Mm.
Well, whoever's doing the NBC cam changes, like film the race.
You know what's crazy about
They
other
skip to
sports?
some boring shit.
You know what's crazy about other sports, George? They have multiple cameras. That's pretty crazy, eh?
There is definitely multiple cameras though,
But
but
why don't they use them?
they're just choosing.
Choosing one.
I 100%
You
see
can go
what
back
you're
and
saying,
forth.
but also I can see why they want to show like whoever the winner was, because what if they do something crazy? What if they do like a backflip?
Did Yared? Yeah, I didn't see Yared do a back. Did you do a backflip?
I think they cut to a race for a little bit, and then Yara did a backflip during that time.
I missed it.
Yeah,
Can you
missed
imagine
it.
him of all people doing a backflip?
But that would be an easy replay.
True. I think you need a split screen.
Yeah, split screen does sound more like easier for that sort of stuff.
I think
Like, not everyone is watching Josh. That's watching the stream.
Yeah.
it's true, but a lot of people would want to see like him like smiling and stuff. I don't know.
But he's not even. It's just him walking away.
Yeah, I want to see him celebrating. I don't know what he was doing. I saw him point over to Kerr's corner, and then I think he started yelling. Did he start yelling? I feel
I
like
think
he
he
often
started
does that
yelling.
when he wins. He does some yells. I don't know what he did.
Did some sort of
I
tribal
see what you're
chant.
saying though. Like
The
yeah,
fans can jump in on this.
a
one.
lot of people would have wanted to see you and Cole battling it, and then I know a lot would have also wanted to see me battling against myself.
Well, you were battling.
Seven
You were
seconds
battling
later.
against yourself. You're breaking your own 2 mile record.
7
you know?
seconds later. Oh yeah, successful by the way. I forgot to mention that.
That's just a side
No, that's a
note.
good point though. You should definitely. So many people. would
Maybe
have
I'll
been
go see
watching it.
Kerr Goucher in Boulder.
Yeah,
I don't know if she's in charge of that.
I'm sure she can sort it out.
She a coffee club listener? Maybe Kerr Goucher's-
TBD.
Probably
TBD.
Maybe her kid is.
I don't know if her kid would be allowed to listen to us. I think we're too vulgar.
Yeah, we're R-rated or MA,
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Yeah,
Right.
maybe in a couple of years.
No, that's a really good point though.
Because you probably like imagine like Kerr Goucher's kid coming up and saying, "Hey, Mum, I learned this word from Ollie. It's fuck." And then all of a sudden, I get the death stare every time I see them at the track. So I feel like maybe we'll wait until they're like 13 or 14, and then we'll be good.
It's
I think
weird.
that is about how old he is.
Wait,
No, I
really?
think he is because he's Jude's age now.
He's Jude's age.
Oh, fuck. Okay, yeah.
So he's in
you should
middle
listen to the
school.
podcast then. Yeah.
Soon close to high
It's
school.
good to know a few swear words when you're that age.
Yeah, it's weird when you get to our age and you're in this big limbo between like being in a like 18 adult and like where none of us are in the place where we're like having kids yet, where you just forget that stuff like
We're in limbo.
age restrictions exist. Because it's like I think me right now, I'd be like, yeah, any kid could listen to our podcast and it's fine. I would never think that we're inappropriate for a kid, but then probably once I have a kid, that
Can
will
you
change.
get a bleeped out version of Coffee Club?
No,
Is
We
it not
should
like
do-
is it not like a thing that just does that automatically?
It
We should
probably
do an
is.
automatic censor, and the censor's noise is just Gus going.
yeah, it just bleeps out all the swear words. Yeah, but it just what. So you saying that made me think about this, but then also I already told all of this story. But yesterday on the flight back from New York, it was so funny because I was sitting behind this kid, and I'm really bad at like guessing the ages of kids, but I'm gonna say he was at least 10, maybe 12, maybe 13.
10 to 13.
And he was on the plane and sitting next to his mum, and they were having a literal physical fight because he wanted to watch Halo and she didn't want him to watch Halo.
Yeah.
And like when you clicked on Halo on the screen, it had a thing pop up that was like a mature content advisory warning type thing, and he would click through it, and then his mum would click X and try to stop him. He would put his headphones into the thing and she would pull them out. It was like the funniest thing ever. His mum, she sucked.
She's not
sucked.
having it. She sucked.
She was not a nice lady. I didn't think from.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's good parenting. So if that is,
Maybe she was being responsible.
I apologize, but she was like, they're like having a fist fight over. He just really wanted to watch the Halo TV show. So that was very funny.
Season 2 out now. It's actually not bad.
would you let your 13-year-old watch it?
My 13 watch Halo? Yeah. I think I would rather them watch like that sort of stuff. This is how I feel like if I was going to be a parent. I'd rather like them watch the Halo stuff or listen to the podcast with swearing or like all that stuff than have social media.
Yeah, that's fair. What about like sex stuff?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Social media, no.
That's smart.
I don't know why.
So
I just
wise.
feel so like
Social
for me,
media's
like
just
I think
bad.
what
That's great parenting.
I think if I'm having kids, I would like 16 years of age is when they could like have Instagram or Twitter.
We'll check back in on that in
Yeah.
approximately
Approximately how many years?
17. Maybe a few more.
A few more years until I have a well, it'd have to be 16 years when I have a kid. Then you have to check back on it. It's like, have they got a social media?
All right.
I reckon
We'll bank that
I
content.
do hope that by the time we have children, because right now it's like so chaotic out there, I hope that, because you know how, for example, smoking, like no one knew it was bad for so long, like there weren't like the studies or whatever. I hope that by the time we have children, there's more of a guideline. Maybe there is a guideline right now and I'm just not aware of it, but like maybe like there's a
like
stat.
social media will be as bad as cigarettes.
Yeah, it's
We
like
should
if you expose your kid to social media like below the age of 12, then like their literacy rates are like this much worse. Like I want to see stats like that.
I
I want to see some concrete evidence.
I'd much prefer my kid reading like Game of Thrones than having social media.
Yeah,
Like it just makes sense because then they are getting desensitized by some form of media, but it's not the media that I'm concerned with.
yeah. No, I'm with you there. We should.
We should discuss that more with Kate Grace when we get her back on the pod because she just she got a kid. So
Does your kid have Instagram yet, Kate?
does she have social media? Does he have
1 year old?
Does he listen to the Coffee Club?
Yeah.
Zero questions.
Does he like Game of Thrones?
We haven't had time for any pop culture moments in the last few weeks, but I just want to. Hopefully, in the coming weeks we do. But I just want to plant a little seed right now. I'm so excited for Dune 2 coming out March 1st, I believe.
And the cast is incredible. That cast is a diehard cast. It's pretty sweet.
They're really hot.
I mean, the first Dune, like watching it on a really good screen with the sound is like an experience. That's for sure. So the second one apparently is going to be building it up.
we got IMAX around here. I need to go to IMAX
I
for
think
this one.
Longmont's the best theater for it. That's where we go. I think if you want to go there. But
Yeah, if you guys want to see the movie with us in Longmont, just let us know.
yeah, we'll do a
slide in the
coffee club Dune showing.
Dune one was pretty good, but I was like just getting into it, and then it ends.
Yeah,
right.
that's the shit with it.
That was brutal.
Yeah.
A lot more will happen. I think it's a trilogy, planned trilogy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So things will start getting going in the second one. But I love everything about it. I love like I love the book, but then also this adaptation, just like the visuals and the music behind it
Yeah.
is just like oof,
technology's got to a point where you can actually do it justice, I
it's
think.
chilling. So,
So,
can't wait for that
Wheel of Time season 2. Morgan, George and I were talking yesterday about maybe starting it up. I did
Are
check
we
the
gonna do it?
reviews. They are technically more positive.
Somehow
Then the
it
Christmas
gets
season
like 84%
I
Rotten
think they
Tomatoes.
buy it. I think they buy those. I don't
I
believe
agree,
that.
but I think we need to just rip the Band-Aid off and
The
do a
audience-
coffee club watch.
The audience score is a lot lower.
Maybe
Yeah, it is.
yeah. See, that's a
But
pretty
it's
bad
still
sign.
high. But it's still like on the season 2.
It's in the 60s.
But also, like, have you ever met someone that like puts in Rotten Tomato reviews? Like, who are these people?
Aren't they like real critics?
The audience, though.
They're like
Oh, the audience.
Yeah, like
ones.
have you ever met anyone that like goes on Rotten Tomato and
I
like
don't know.
puts in an audience score?
No, I don't think
I have
so.
not met one of those
Like,
people.
who are these people? You know, how can you trust them? I mean, I think Rotten Tomatoes is decently trustworthy, but also the issue for us is that we've like read the books, and I know that in season 2, like I've seen some videos where they just get really far away from the books in season 2, so they just like have said, "Fuck it, we're just gonna make
this
our
is
own
what I
story."
hate,
So that's
and-
gonna be frustrating.
I hate this with Halo as well because you have such a good, like, amazing blueprint of a story, and then you just desert it. Why? Everybody wants to see the story.
Mhm.
Why are you leaving the blueprint? Please, for the love of God.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So is that
that's
a
our
pop culture moment?
That's a pop culture moment.
I've been watching The Bachelor.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Second
but I was
episode?
it was research for Grant's Girls.
Yeah.
That's the only,
But keep it
Not-
going just in case.
it wasn't because I was enjoying it.
course
But
not.
I'll probably keep watching it.
Is the
No, 'cause
Bachelor
I'm
the
That would
doing
be
one
a good
with?
thing for Grant's Girls though. Like we do the show, and then right at the end when he has 3 girls left, we do surprise. His girlfriend's here, and then his girlfriend comes in.
I don't know if that would.
No, it wouldn't work.
I don't know if that would work.
It wouldn't
Yeah.
work. I don't know what I'm thinking. I think of a surprise guest that comes in that like
That's
shocks the
That's
dynamic.
like real hardcore reality TV right there, like the real trashy stuff.
Yeah.
But The Bachelor is hilarious.
So
It's the most ridiculous.
is the
show.
Bachelor the one with a lot of women or a lot of men?
The Bachelor is
of-
a lot of women. The Bachelorette's a lot of men.
Yeah,
Cool.
Makes
So-
a mismatch.
a
Cute.
lot of women, a lot of drama.
Cute.
It's very
Love it.
funny.
Yeah.
Keep it up. Is that like just beginning or where are we at?
Early days.
Early
Yeah,
days.
he's
Still a lot of hopes and dreams.
He's still dating like 20 chicks, but they just went international.
They all love him.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he cool or is he like? Because there was one Bachelor that was like kind of shit. It was the pilot guy. I didn't like him.
Shows me at least.
I
one.
haven't.
Isn't
I
there like
haven't watched a
30
lot of-
seasons? Isn't
There's
there
so many.
Yeah, the one that I watched was with that pilot guy who like kind of just was a dick.
But there were 2 girls that hated each other on like all the first few episodes, and they obviously had made him keep them on. Like clearly he didn't want both or one of them there, and so they keep them on, and then they made him do a 2-on-1 date with the 2 girls
Oh,
that hated each
no.
other
Fuck.
and him,
Great
and it
TV.
was
Where
it
was the date at?
It was comical on a bloody yacht in Malta.
Oh no.
They pumped some crazy money into
They
it.
already go international like that.
Like
in
it
the
was like
early
week
days.
3, I think.
Wow.
Imagine if you're a
I guess they gotta
if you're the
spice it up.
Bachelor and then you don't find your love and then you come into the real world and then you try to date a girl and she's like, well, you took these girls to Malta on a yacht.
Yeah,
Why am
so
I
you
at a
buy a
Denny's
little
right?
high.
Why am I at a Denny's, Matthew, when I should be in Malta on a fucking yacht?
Actually, he played tennis in college. That was kind of
He did?
That was a green flag for me.
That's pretty good. Is he good at pickleball? Probably, right?
Has he done a classic? Sure, maybe he would be saving this film. There's a few more, but like a tennis lesson date where he has to like go hold them, and be like,
Yeah.
you gotta hit it like
Hold them
this."
behind, yeah.
Well, I don't know. That's probably enough Bachelor content. I don't want to admit how much I know about it.
Yeah, we'll keep that secret safe with us, George.
We'll update everyone next week.
Should we chat Wanamaker Miles finally?
Nah. Yeah.
All right, well, let me go through this one. Yared won. Let's Run, or Run Let's, gave him a B plus maybe, I think it
Which
was.
we defended.
Which I was like, okay, you know, it's funny you're giving a B to a guy who's run the 3rd fastest indoor time ever in the mile. But, you know, it is what it is. I think Yared is one of those guys that, like, loves to win races. And
What do you think he would have given it?
Yared,
Hmm.
he would have done this. 2 thumbs up.
That's
So,
accurate. I think he did give it 2 thumbs up
Yeah.
probably when he was celebrating.
but no, super happy for him. I think Mario struggled a little bit, but it's early days, man. It's freaking February, you know. He's got a lot more racing to do, and Mario's a fighter, and we've seen how well he can do at the end of the year. Like he's been 4th and 6th at 2 world championships, and
Do you
he's
know
just started running pro. So
Do you know what I would love to take a deep dive into? Or maybe just shallow.
what
Just some kind of dive into. Is Hobbs Tesla's
training?
348 off the back of some very fun sounding training.
His training does sound interesting. George, you're the one that's very appealed to this type of training. You know what? Morgan and I were talking today on the run. It could be a good training for Mario. Because I think Mario would suit that kind of training.
This is my. I assume you know more about it than I do, but my takeaway is that his training is not that revolutionary, but it seems more different because everyone is going in such a strength-based direction
yeah.
right now. Whereas I'm like, he's training. If you're actual like pure 1500 meter, it's like, yeah, that makes sense.
Mm.
Yeah, true. He did run 7:39 last year, but maybe he was.
Yeah.
Well,
Do you want to break down? Maybe just explain the basics of like what characterizing his current training.
I think it is just current. I don't think it was like fall. I think it's like winter.
I do love so much. Sorry that Ronnie lets him like kind of choose his training when he's like 20 years old.
I love seeing.
I love Ronnie. Ronnie's an amazing coach.
He's like my favorite coach to see at meets. All I know is from a very small interview that anyone can go and listen to. Let's Run. So I don't know who asked him about
Let's Run, Sidious Mag, or I don't know.
But also from Ben
Someone
Flanagan, our temporary training partner, who is
it's been here for the past
is in
couple
Boulder,
days, yeah.
training with us for the 10, teammate of Hobbs Tesla.
The 10.
Basically, he hasn't run continuously over 7 miles this year. But I don't think that means necessarily he hasn't had a session that gets over 7 miles.
Yeah, he must, like including warm.
Like I'm sure the threshold sessions end up being longer than that. But he doesn't run no long runs and no runs over 7 miles. No like normal runs over 7 miles. But he still runs up to 90 miles a week doing that.
It's not that different from Jakob, is it?
Well,
It's not.
it's just the long run.
Like Jakob doesn't run as long for how much strength he has. He doesn't do like super long runs.
No, but I think there is no long run for Tesla, whereas for Jingy there probably is
Like
some sort of long
90-minute long run. Or
9
something.
minutes.
Yeah.
Shit. I mean,
it sounds
cool.
like he just does a lot of quality.
I just heard him
Like he's
say,
doing double threshold.
I heard him say like between 3 to 5 quality days.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. Like speed development stuff as well.
Yeah, a bunch of proper speed development, tons of threshold.
Yeah.
And no runs over 7 miles. So he just does 7 doubles maybe?
Yeah, well,
he said 6
He
doubles.
said he doubles 6 days a week and he takes a day off. So he's training
So
really,
he's running
really
12,
hard still.
Yeah, 12 runs a week, which is more than we do.
He's training very hard.
And a full day off.
Yeah.
I asked Jared if that training appealed. And he said, well, he gave a typical Jared answer, kind of laughed it off and said, if I could stay fit or something doing that. But I think
definitely keep you fit.
I don't think Jared would like getting out for a double that often.
Jared hates doubling. He's like me. He hates it.
I think, I don't hate doubling, but like when I have a day that I don't have a double, I'm like, wow, this is so nice. It's like a free day.
It is a free day. But back to, like the mile, it seemed pretty, I shouldn't say standard because it's not standard having that many guys run the 350, but it's pretty incredible to watch. George Treadmills did quite well off his crazy race in Boston. And Frog.
What the fog?
What the frog, man? Oh, Fog. What the fog?
What the fog is going on?
What the fog is going on, brother?
He looks so
fantastic.
good.
349. He was sick, so he could probably run quicker. So that was pretty incredible performance from him. He talked about in his post-race interview.
Member of Coffee Club, Track Club.
He is. Yeah, no, call it here first.
It was just impressive, really, to see. I mean, he is a very tall, lanky, impressive figure. But to see someone come through, because they were running so fast in the first pack, and he went out in the second pack, which is definitely, I guess, better pace, because the front guys went out in literally 152. But it's very impressive to see someone like bridge that gap in the way that he did. Like he just looked really strong on the third lap, I think it was, when the other guys slowed down a bit. When they ran like a 59 or whatever, he like really bridged that gap, made a nice move through, and then was able to hold it and finish pretty strong. And 349, I believe.
It's very impressive coming off the like qualification from Doc Sanders, only getting into the meet by winning Doc Sanders 2 weeks earlier, and then running
took full
349.
advantage of it, which is awesome to see.
So a big shout out to him. I mean, big fan of his. He's just a fun guy.
Yeah.
Those big shout out to his team. Honestly, if there were a 4x-mile coming up in the next couple of months, they should get on that. They got a 349, 2 351s from their other 2 milers. That's pretty good average.
Pretty good average.
Sure, they could find a fourth.
Yeah, no, they're
So-
crushing it. So
They're doing very well.
it was another great Wanamaker Mile, and well, we didn't even mention the women's
Yeah,
Just before-
El Puree won the women's Wanamaker Mile 11 months after having a kid. American record. Pretty impressive. Well done,
ESP getting
Puree.
it done.
Freaking so
ESP.
sick. And then Jess. was
Another Australian record.
Another Australian record for Jess.
And she was
She's got a
leading it
pile
out
of
as well, like looking real strong. Like
Yeah.
those two really separated themselves.
Yeah, it seems like
But
her
after-
training in Australia has been working. 'Cause she's,
3 races, 3 Australian records.
yeah, it's good ratio.
Oh yeah, what was the first one? Was it a 1K?
1K,
Yeah. So
3,
impressive.
1K, 3K mile.
Is she? Do you guys know if she's doing well? Is that what she's prepping for?
I didn't listen to her interview.
No.
No.
She normally does like
I'm sure she'll be
everything.
there.
Like she does all those.
I'm sure she would. I mean, she's coaching herself. She said.
My dad's coaching her.
Well, her dad's coaching her. Well, she's been coached by her family, so I'm sure they're pretty like on pat with whatever she wants to do, and I'm sure she loves competing. And any time to represent your own country, it means a huge opportunity. So
Yeah. Also, shout out to on NIL Maya Ramsden. I think her time was it
24.
24, number 2 all time maybe for the mile, and afterwards, when I found out that she'd anchored the DMR the night before, I was like, what the hell? She had run, I think she split a 4:29 like the day before doing the DMR just casually, and then made the
Insane.
trip.
That's ridiculous.
These college kids,
College
crazy,
kids.
get away with anything. That's actually going back to the Hobbs training. That's my other one counterpoint, which it's not a counterpoint, just a point, is that he's 20 years old. So I'm like, this guy can probably do whatever he wants, and he'll continue to
Succeed.
It's
348 at 20 years old
it is crazy. You forget it. I mean,
is ridiculous.
So, yeah, but
I might
I
have
think
to
that's
race
it.
him in a few weeks,
we're at.
I guess, depending if he makes the team.
Oh yeah, in Glasgow.
Because that's also happening this week.
Yeah, should we do a little
Trials.
preview of the USA's
Let's do
indoors?
it.
Yeah, let's
We
wrap
spent
it
a
up.
lot of time on Millrose just then, so I don't think we'll spend too much time on these other topics. But from our team, we're getting represented by Yared Nagus. Big surprise entry in the 3K. And Josette also doing the 3K.
Both
Where-
on Friday.
Yeah, so they're going to be getting after it.
Top 2 go to Glasgow.
Is it
3K field's very good.
Yeah, are those all confirmed entries? Like, are people entering in both and they get to decide? That's what I wasn't sure about.
Like, get to decide which team to go in or get to decide which race?
Which race?
I
Like-
think they just do both.
Okay.
I mean,
that
like
makes
Cole
sense.
and Cooper.
Yeah, because I saw that in the men's 3K, Cole Cooper as well as Abdi.
Cole. Wait, Abdi Wasington?
I saw his name.
Cole is won both of them the last 2 years ago, right?
I remember. Yeah,
He won
did
3K and 1500. So it's
Oh,
obviously
really did.
possible to do the double. I don't know what the days are. And then I guess that means Cooper could probably do it.
that. Yeah,
Wait, but Abdi's in it?
that's what I thought I saw. Maybe I'm just making up some fake
He'd
news
be really good at it.
right now. So who
In
knows?
an indoor 3K.
But I thought I saw his name on there.
Was Cooper in the mile or the 2 mile?
He was in the mile.
He's in the mile.
He had a pretty. I think he was pretty disappointed,
Yeah.
but not
'Cause
that he
I-
ran
he-
bad. But
I mean,
think
usually
52?
he's in the conversation. So I was like, oh shit, which
52-ish?
race was he in?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just so many good guys.
I
there.
mean, it's crazy.
I feel like I'd love to
crazy.
see the Yared Abdi.
Yeah, that'd be
Showdown,
interesting. I do
actually.
think
I would love to see
if
Abdi
Yared-
drop Yard.
Yeah, if Yared is on, then it'd be a cool race to.
Like Abdi closes 5K in like 53 seconds. He's got like serious wheels
He does.
and it's at altitude.
Mm.
I hope he, but I think he's also entered in the 10.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I'm not sure what.
Maybe I'm making this up. Yeah, but
Either way, that's going to be a great race.
I'm sure there'll be a lot of good races. Honestly, I don't know like who else is running in them. I just assume it's all good USA people.
Yeah.
So we'll be watching, but mostly just cheering for our teammates. So best of luck to Josette and Yared as they try to qualify for World Indoors, which is not that far away.
It's
I think
really not.
is Mario's Spanish champs also this soon, or is it?
I think it's also on Friday.
Wow, that's quick.
Mm.
That's quick. It's going to be good seeing him race.
All the good races coming up.
Unfortunately, someone who will not be in that race is Mo Katir. And
Why is
Kit
that?
Kat Katir.
so the thing with this one, this is huge for us. Like when we see this news drop, it's hard to comprehend how like big this is because it's so close to us in so many ways. Like a lot of us on the team have like raced against him. He's like he's just been crushing it since
Joe's best friend.
Since 2021, Joe's DMs him like probably 3 times a day. But I will say, so like when this news drops, like just privately, like we will talk about this stuff a lot because it's so big for us. But publicly, it's like we can't really say anything until
we know
we
what's
see
going
what
on.
happens with the appeal process.
Yeah.
Because like what the fuck do we know is going on? Like I mean, there's an appeal process for a reason. So I think we have to wait and see how that goes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but it is massive news for us. Yeah.
Because actually, when I woke up, I thought I was still like asleep when I saw it. I remember in the morning when I checked my phone, I was like, "What the fuck? Like, am I awake right now?" Because it's any news like that. It's just crazy. There's always shit going. Like, there's always something happening big in the track and field world. Never a dull moment. So we'll see how it turns
and it often
out.
goes both ways. Like we've had people in the last couple of years be banned for a little bit and then come back like on a like something was. I actually don't
like
know
it was corrected or something.
Like the hurdler woman was banned for a few months and then
Toby.
But
that one's controversial still.
Is it?
I think so.
And the ABP steeplechase.
Oh yeah, also controversial.
Was Archie?
I guess it's always going to be controversial.
What was Archie Wilson's one?
That was a
not
meat.
recent.
That was meat, tainted meat.
Oh, it's the tainted meat one.
I believe.
There's just so many of them, and you just lose track.
Yeah, but we'll refrain from talking about it much more until we see how this appeal goes because we don't know. We don't know what will happen with them.
All we know
that
is
he's fighting it.
All we know is the Black Cat is not going to be at Spanish champs.
Yeah. So that's that. I feel like that's pretty much it for today. It was one of the topics that was written down, which we've kind of already talked about this a little bit, but just in closing this week of Millrose it was again like a bit of a mixed bag for the team in terms of performances, which I think there's a couple of we already did cover this type of stuff pretty well in terms of how like our training has maybe been a little more conservative, like crushing just a little less sessions on the track earlier on compared to previous years. But also in my mind, it's just like an inevitable thing that like when the team, we've also said this before, but when a team performs as well as this team has performed in the last couple of years in particular at Millrose, it's just like unrealistic the bar gets set so high that it's unrealistic that you're going to perform like that every single time. So I think it's pretty simple.
No, it's good.
Still a lot of amazing performances though.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything too concerning.
No, I think everything's overall trending pretty well.
Yeah, I think you guys are doing great.
So that's the official statement on that.
Yep.
If anyone was curious about that. Well, with that, I think that's it from us for episode 124. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening to this one, and we look forward to catching you guys again next week. See ya.